I've been making games for quite some time now, and I'm a programmer. I love designing systems and mechanics for my game, and I work solo, so I also have to take care of the art. In the past, I used to rely heavily on pixel art because it was quite simple and approachable. But I've never really been good at it. If you take a look at my previous games, they look simple and not that pretty. Last summer I decided to try something new, and I actually started drawing the sprites for my games. It's been a great experience. In this video I want to tell you the story of my journey as a non-artist, learning how to make simple art for my games. It's how I got from I have no idea how to draw sprites to something that actually works. Spoiler, iteration and references matter more than anything else. As always, this video is split into chapters which you can find in the timeline or in the description below, so you can jump around. My journey started in the summer when I joined the GMTK Game Jam, and I made a little cute game called Lasso Sheriff. This was my first game where I decided that I'm not going to use pixel art, but I'm going to draw something. I had an iPad, and after a quick search, I quickly discovered that the best app you can use is called Procreate. So I got that and I started practicing. I have used very simple shapes for everything in the game, including characters and objects, and it actually worked quite well. I also used simple flat colors. I wasn't experimenting with textures or shading or anything. There's just a simple shadow to give the perception of depth, and that was it. And I think that this simplicity worked really well for the game. It was a start. At the time, I barely understood the technical side of drawing sprites in Procreate, like what resolution and canvas size to choose, or how to properly export the image and import it into Godot. I was still learning. Yeah, I still don't know what resolution or canvas size to choose for my sprites. I don't know what you are supposed to do, but at least now I have found something that actually works for my game. By the way, I still haven't made a video about my game Lasso Sheriff and the whole GMTK experience. I'm still hoping that I will one day, hopefully. After making Lasso Sheriff and finishing it, I've been practicing drawing in Procreate, trying to get more experience with the app. But the next step on my journey was in October when I joined the Ludum Dare Game Jam, and I made this little cute game called Outward. At the time I was really in love with sock pop games. I still am actually, and I was playing Mistward and Clicky Land. So I used those games as big references for Outward. If you haven't heard about Outward, I made a longer video telling the story of the game and how I made it. The link will be in the description and somewhere. But essentially it's a very simple game about collecting resources. And I needed a few simple sprites like trees, rocks, stone, wood, villagers, hut. And when I was making these sprites, I was using Mistward heavily as an inspiration. As a non-artist, having these references helped me a lot. Seeing the simple shapes in Mistward, how the outline works, and the simple visual style really helped me understand how to draw my own sprites, and I really like what I ended up with. After finishing Outward, I've continued working on it. The game is now called Whisperlands, and you can watch my previous devlog where I talk about the journey so far. Link in the description. During the development of the game, I kept iterating on the art many times. First, I have redrawn the original sprites in a slightly more polished style in this kind of pixelated brush. In the next iteration, I have redrawn the sprites in twice the resolution because I didn't really like how pixelated they look in the game. And then in the next iteration, immediately after that, I have reverted back to the original resolution, but just tried using thinner outlines. And I just kept iterating and experimenting, trying different colors, outline thicknesses, brush styles, different shapes, different resolutions, and just trying to see what I like and also trying to see how it actually looks in the game. This process helped me understand how art is made, not in a single breakthrough or trying to draw all the sprites perfectly on the first try, but rather just iterating on them, learning, seeing what works. And every time I learned something new or found something that I like, I tried drawing in that style. It was fun. I still have a lot to learn. It is less intuitive for me compared to writing code. How do you make your art? Do you also iterate, or how do you approach the whole process of making art? Let me know in the comments. After a lot of iterations and progress on the game and the art, I finally did what I should have done a long time ago. I started collecting reference images and screenshots from other games. I actually did this quite recently. I made a lot of whiteboards and collected screenshots from other games that are similar to what I'm trying to achieve, and also games that I really like how they look. For example, Ant Hill Village or Cult of the Lamp, or as I've mentioned, the sock pop games such as Mistward. I had no idea before, but making these boards and seeing all the images next to each other was a great help for me. I could more easily see patterns and identify what I like based on taste and comparison instead of trying to purely draw from memory. I took parts and pieces from these images and I have applied them to my own art. And also when I was drawing anything new for the game, I collected images of that object and I could more easily draw it. Again, much more easily than if I tried to just draw it from my own memory. I have since learned that this is the way you are actually supposed to do this, but it took me some time to learn this, and now I use reference images for everything and it's much easier. What is still very challenging for me is drawing sprites for the UI and UI design for games in general. I still don't know even how to start, and that's why the UI in my game still looks like the default Godot UI. How do you work with references? Are you also collecting screenshots from other games or images of objects? Let me know down in the comments. Quick announcements before we move on. I have finally bit the bullet and made a brand new Discord server for the Whisperlands game. It's currently very empty. Basically, it's just me. But if you want to join the community and be part of the development of Whisperlands, well, feel free to join. The invite link is in the description. I'm pretty sure that the community around the game will be a big influence for the game itself. So if you want to help me build the game, I'll see you on Discord. Also, I started creating a Steam developer account so I can actually finally make a Steam page. The whole internet is full of the advice that you should create your Steam page as soon as possible and start collecting wish lists. So even though I don't really have a game yet, I'm gonna listen to that advice and I'm making the page. Hopefully it's going to be online soon. I want to quickly talk about animations in the game. Many of you have asked in the comments about how I actually make the animations. So here's a quick sneak peek. My animations are super simple. All of them use just one or two sprites for the actual animation, and I use squashing and stretching heavily to make them look nicer. As you can see, I use Godot animations to keyframe the animations of the villagers, and I also made these squash and shake components which have procedural spring animations, and I can easily trigger them at any time from code or from the animation itself. So as an example, here's the villager lifting an item, and here's the villager running animation. Lessons I learned as a non-artist. 1. You don't actually need to be an artist to make a game that works. I'm honestly excited and mind blown what I was able to achieve and how far I've been able to progress from my old pixel art games. Number 2. References are a big part of the process and not cheating. Honestly, after I started using references and making boards with images and screenshots from other games, I finally started understanding at least a little bit what I was trying to do and what I was trying to achieve. Seeing what others made and how they approached making sprites was really helpful and eye-opening for me. Number 3, iteration beats inspiration, and it definitely beats trying to draw the sprites perfectly on the first try. Believe me, as a perfectionist, this is a really tough lesson for me, but a really important one too. And finally, choosing a simple art style that fits your skill level is smart, not limiting. Sticking to simple shapes, outlines, flat colors, no textures and very basic shading has actually allowed me to make progress and make the game instead of trying to achieve something that is way beyond my skills. This is the time that I should mention that if you like my story so far, you should smash that subscribe button. But seriously, if you like what you see and if you would like to follow the development of the game, it's going to take me a long time, I suspect, so a lot more is to come. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. So, after this whole journey, here's how the game looks right now. As I've mentioned in my previous video, I'm taking this as a polished visual slice of the game. It barely has any features, but I really like how it looks and feels to play, so I'm going to take it as a reference of how I want the final game to look and feel to play. As you can see, I still haven't touched the UI. It appears to be really hard for me and I'm struggling with starting somehow, but I believe that I'm going to figure it out someday. What's next for the game? Well, I'm going to take the version that I have right now and sort of put it to the side for now, because I want to switch gears a little bit and start prototyping more and make faster progress. So I'm going to make a separate project that is going to be purely for prototyping the game mechanics. It's going to use really simple visuals and it's not going to be as polished as this version, but my hope is that this way I'm going to make much faster progress, because I want to play the game, I want to discover the fun, I want to implement all the features and see how they interact with each other. I want to quickly show you my current process of making sprites in Procreate and actually getting them into the game. So when I make the sprites, I usually draw a couple of them on the same canvas. I do this so I can see them next to each other and I can make sure that they have the correct size in reference to each other. And I also use separate layers for the outline and for the fill color. This makes it much simpler to tweak in the future. Then I take this image and I export it as a single transparent PNG file. And I airdrop it from my iPad to my Mac. Then I used to do this manually. I opened the sprite in Sprite and I sliced each individual sprite into a separate file. I trimmed it and I put it into the project. But now this whole process is actually automated. I have set up an AI toolchain that takes the file that I exported from Procreate, and I have given it instructions and skills to work with the file using command line tools such as ImageMagick, and it automatically takes this single file and splices it into separate sprites, also naming them correctly. I won't go into details how this is done because it's a little bit too technical, so if you are interested in the details, let me know in the comments and I will make a separate video. That's it for this video. If you take just one thing from it, remember that you can learn by doing. It just takes practice and iterations, and you and your art will get better. If you liked this video, don't forget to press the little button so that the YouTube algorithm knows. And if you want to be part of the Whisperlands community, part of the development journey, don't forget to join the Discord server. I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This is the end screen. You should hopefully see the next recommended video, I think right here. Or here? Here. So why are you still here? Just click the video. Or go do your thing. Anyway, bye!